Hi, this is Michael Bailey, and I am an entrepreneurial coach, executive coach, and corporate trainer. I'm here today with you, or in the blue, with your mini meeting booster. And we're going to talk today about well, here it is. We're going to talk about learn how to fly your suit. Wow, learn to fly your suit. What's that all about? If you recall that wonderful movie Iron Man with Tony Stark and that whole thing that brought up this new generation of Iron Man. Here he is. He's out cruising around in the desert, and all of a sudden he's hit with a bomb, and before he knows it, he's captured by these terrorists and he's being held in a cave, and there's no way for him to get out. It's just a horrible situation. Well, being the genius that he is, he's going to figure out how to get out. And so what he does is he starts building this suit, this iron suit, so that he can get out and figures out how to build it and how to power it. And he gets together this kind of rough model and he puts it on and he it's a wonderful series of scenes of how he gets out of the cave and he flies out and he gets out. It nearly kills him, but he does make it out. And then he goes back home and he's starting to figure, well, this is a great idea. What can I do with this? Because, I'm kind of into this business anyway. So what is it I'm going to do with this great idea? And he goes to work and starts figuring out what the problems were, how he's going to change it, how he's going to shift it around, how he's going to improve it. And he does. He creates this marvelous suit, and we see him do it, put it together. We see him test it. We see him paint it. Just great stuff. It's a great story. And then it's all ready to go, right? He just put on the suit. Well, not quite. Because what he has to do once the suit's good and it's going and it's ready, he has to learn how to fly that suit. And we see him learn how to do it. And he gets bumped around, knocked around, nearly, gets killed a few times. But eventually he learns how to fly the suit. And that's what we're talking about here today. Learning how to fly your suit. In this case, what we're talking about is this. It's about how do you learn to manage your brain more effectively so that you're not being affected in ways that you don't want to be affected, so that you really are in charge. You really are flying and going and getting things done that you want to get done, and things aren't out of control. Things are really working for you rather than, I don't know what's going on with me today. How come I'm feeling this way? How come I'm feeling that way? I don't feel it. Somebody sent me a text, got a phone call, didn't get enough sleep, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just not there, just not in the mood, just not with it. How do we get to a different point so that we really are in charge? Well, that's what we'll be talking about. How do you do that? How does those mechanisms actually work when it comes to your brain? Once you get it, it's really pretty simple. It's a matter of just choosing. It's a matter of just paying attention. It's a matter of practicing so that you really are in charge. Imagine this, sitting down in your car, and there it is. You've got your gear shift ready to go. Have you ever had this experience? You put it in reverse, but you think it's in drive. And you hit the accelerator, and then all of a sudden, instead of going forward, you're going backwards. Wait, whoa. Or you do just the opposite. You put in reverse, and you thought it's in drive, or I should say drive. And so you do the reverse of that, and all of a sudden, you're going in the wrong direction. You thought you're backing up, and now you're actually going forward. Or this is even worse. You think you're in drive, but it's in park, and now you're pushing down the gear shift, and just hear the engine roaring, but nothing's going on. That can be a lot like our brain. We just learn how to get it into the right gear, and then we're going to be just fine. So how does that work exactly? How do you actually get your brain in the right gear? Well, there's something called the front part of our brain. How are we going to do this? How are we going to recognize how this brain works? Well, let's start with this. There's the front part of our brain called the prefrontal lobe. It's the executive portion of our brain. It's the decision maker. It's where the seat of decisions and judgment and planning and figuring things out, this is where it all goes. So this is a powerful part of our brain that works for us. And it has some very specific ways that it does work. For instance, when you start thinking a particular kind of thought, it goes to a particular part of that prefrontal lobe. For instance, if you're thinking a thought that's negative, what you're going to do here is you're going to activate that right side of your prefrontal lobe. And it says, okay, I got this negative thought. What am I going to do about that whole thing? Okay, well, this prefrontal lobe on the right side, when you take a negative thought, it goes into something called your amygdala. Your amygdala is the storehouse here of powerful emotions, both positive and negative. It's kind of like a treasure trove of emotions, of events, of experiences in your life. And so you think a negative thought, right side of your brain is activated, and then it goes to that amygdala, the storehouse of emotions and events, and it will look for negative experiences. It will look for the negative emotion. And sure enough, as you're thinking the negative thought, it will serve up to you all those negative experiences and negative emotion that make you feel like, yeah, that's exactly right. What I'm thinking here is exactly what I'm feeling here. So inadvertently, you start saying, well, I meant to feel good, but I'm actually feeling bad. On the other side, if you start having a positive thought about something, you're accessing the left side of your prefrontal cortex. And positive thought, positive feelings are going on, because what happens is it will go back into that amygdala again, and it will pull out all the positive emotions, the positive experiences and events that have happened in your life. And you're saying, yeah, I had this positive thought, and all of a sudden I'm starting to feel really good about what it is that I'm doing. Now, when we get these two things confused, when we're thinking, I want to feel good, I want to be positive, when I'm thinking a negative thought or I'm thinking a series of negative thoughts, I'm actually going to be tapping into that amygdala, that treasure house of negative feelings. And I don't realize it's the mechanics of just how the brain works. If I'm going to think a negative thought, I'm going to tap into negative feelings. And those negative feelings are more powerful than the negative thoughts, and they're going to overpower me. They're going to make me feel, even though I want to feel happy, though I want to feel like positive and enthusiastic, those negative emotions are going to overpower me. And so I'm thinking, yeah, I want to be happy. I want to be in a good mood today, but man, I'm just feeling bummed out. And so what we tend to do is we tend to start thinking, well, it's me. It's just kind of the way I am. It's just had a bad day. I just didn't get a good night's sleep. Somebody said something to me, whatever it is. I just woke up this way. And we don't realize it's like sitting there in the seat of our car. We think we're in drive, but we're really in reverse. And we don't understand just the sheer mechanics of it. All we have to do is start doing this. Get off the negative thought. Get on to the positive thought. Stay focused on the positive thought. You ever notice that when you start thinking about something you're grateful for, something good that happened to you, and you keep thinking, yeah, that's a good thing, I like that, or that's something I really feel proud about, or that's something that I feel happy that I accomplished, that when you focus on it, all of a sudden you do start shifting. Not only do you start shifting, but more importantly, your emotions start shifting. So understanding it's not you, understanding that it's not your background, understanding it's not the things that are going on around you, not understanding it's not the events or what people said, this person said that, or that person said this. It's those are things that are going on around you. Just like sitting in your car, people can be stuck, they can be angry, they can be honking their horns, all sorts of things can be going on. But as long as you know where you're going and you've got it in the right gear, then you're going to get yourself there, despite all the noise, despite all the drama that's going on around you. That ability to think, okay, I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to keep myself focused in a way that keeps me feeling good about me, good about what it is I'm doing, good about what I'm getting done. All of a sudden, you rise above all that noise and all that confusion, and you start moving ahead. You start feeling good. So it's not so much you as you just haven't learned how to put yourself in the driver's seat, put yourself in the right gear, focus on the right thing to get yourself moving in the right direction. So what can you do about that? What can you do to learn better how to fly your suit, as it were here? Well, here's some things you can do. Because what it is in the preparation. It's how you approach it. Sit down and actually do this. Don't think about it, but actually do this. Make a list of 5 things that you're good at or that you do well. Just write it down. Here's the things I'm really good at. And as you look at those things and you think about those things, you start feeling, yeah, I am really good at that. I really do feel good about it. Then update it weekly so that each week you got a fresh list from which you can work from. Then write down also, another thing you can do is write down 5 things that you're really grateful for, that you appreciate each day. This power of appreciation, this power of gratitude has a way of really shifting your brain around so that you're looking at what you have rather than what you don't have. It's like what we talked about last time. Is the glass half full or is it half empty? If it's half empty, it's because it's draining. If you're thinking of all the negative things rather than it's half full and it's filling because you're thinking of all the positive things.
The other thing you can do is this. Be very proactive about your relationships. Make a real effort. Look each day for opportunities that you can compliment people. Make a little chart, keep in your notebook or something. Today I've got the goal here. I'm going to compliment 5 people. And you know what's the interesting thing about complimenting people? One of the great things that happens when you compliment somebody for who they are or for what they've done well, is they tend to lighten up. They say, oh, thank you. I appreciate that a whole lot. And oftentimes they'll return and say, you know, I like this about you, or this is what something you do that's really great. And all of a sudden you're sharing what? Great feelings. There's a study done. Good feelings, positive feelings, enthusiastic feelings spread throughout an organization much more quickly than negative feelings. People tend to, I think we talked about this before, people tend to shy away from negative feelings. They just don't want to get into it. I don't want to have that. But you bring positive emotions to your organization, to the people that you're working with, to your patients, clients. All of a sudden, everybody starts feeling a whole lot better. And they're glad that they're there. They're glad they're doing what they're doing. They're glad they're with you. They're glad that they've had that experience to be with you and work with you that day or be part of what it is that you're doing. So share, compliment, lift up, encourage. And then at the end of each day, do this. Write down 3 things that you did. Write down 3 things that you accomplished, 3 things that you were successful at. Don't think about them. Actually write them down and look at them and mull them over. Just ponder those for a few minutes. If you want to learn how to take charge of your brain, it is the exercise and the practice and the reinforcement of focusing on the positive things to access in that amygdala those positive emotions. That doesn't mean that you don't have challenges. It doesn't mean that you don't have problems. It doesn't mean that you don't have difficulties that come up. But you've got a choice then, don't you? You can go to the negative and say, oh, that's a terrible thing, and I wish I hadn't said that. I'm just so upset about that now, or this is something we'll never get through. All the negative thoughts, and yeah, I remember this thing happened to me, and that thing happened. Oh, it turned out horrible. If we just all wanted to, run away and hide. Or you can say, yeah, there's a challenge here. There's a problem here. We did this before, and it worked out great, and we're going to figure this out. We're going to solve this. We're going to get past this. We're going to make this better than ever. Just that positive thought, accessing that treasure trove of positive emotions, positive experiences. And all of a sudden, instead of being down and, boy, I just feel beat up and tired and I'm drained, all of a sudden you start feeling resourceful. See, that's what I want you to understand. You have the power. You have the ability to make the choices. You may be kind of habituated to make the negative choices just by habit, but you can stop that. Look at these things we've got here. Start shifting it. The power is yours to be positive. The power is yours to be enthusiastic. The power of yours is to be happy, to be powerful and pursue what you want. So this is it. Learn to fly your suit. Mini Meeting Booster in the blue. Maikel Bailey. Make it a great day. Make it a great week.